I was told, why are you on TikTok? You're a Christian.
Ooh, yeah.
That's a horrible place to be. And it leads back to the question you had before is, that's the best place for a Christian to be.
Yeah.
If I can make a difference, and if I'm presenting myself in a good way, a wholesome, clean way, then I'm doing my job as far as being in the world, but not of the world.
Right.
We started High Value for the people that find value in building your business, your family, and your faith without sacrificing any of the three. We feel like business, family, and faith go hand in hand, and you don't have to separate any of the three. In fact, to build anything of high value, they have to go together.
High Value.
Welcome to the High Value Podcast, where we talk about how to build your business, your family, and your faith without sacrificing any of the three. Today we have a special guest. We have Santa Corky in the house.
Yeah.
How are you, sir?
Wonderful. Thank you.
Good,
I'm
good.
excited to be on the podcast.
Yeah, well, thanks for coming on. Thanks
You
for coming
bet.
on. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Well, I see already that you have a TikTok hat on.
Right.
Okay, so thanks
Yeah.
for coming on. Thanks
You
for coming
bet.
on. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Well, I see already that you have a TikTok hat on.
Right.
Okay, so
Uh-huh.
I know that you're all over social media. You're on TikTok. You're on Instagram.
Yeah.
Is TikTok kind of your main platform?
Yeah, that's where things really started for me as far as social media was on TikTok, and I've been doing Santa work here locally in our hometown here,
yeah.
and for probably going on 8-9 years now.
Mm-hmm.
And then my son said, "Dad, you need to go on TikTok." I said, "Absolutely not."
I don't know how to dance.
Right. Well, that was a little over 3.5 years ago. And to me, what I understood TikTok is a bunch of, teenagers dancing.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what I thought. Well, I'm not a teenager and my dancing skills have gone way down the tube. So, but he showed me on his platform some of the things he was looking at, and welding and dirt bikes and things that he's interested in. I went, oh, so it's bigger than that. And then I said, okay. It took me a couple of weeks to kind of get it going, and we put a video up, and then he said, "Dad, you need to go live." I said, "Absolutely not." And so he convinced me, "Okay, you can do it, Dad. Come on, I can help you and go through it." So, and I went live, and I soon found out at that point, I didn't really know it, but it was my calling.
Mm-hmm.
It was my calling.
Wow.
And to be at this stage in my life, it is my part of my purpose. And I think everybody should really lean into their calling. And to me, what it meant was to serve God and to serve his people.
Wow.
Serve God, serve his people.
Mm-hmm.
And this is what I can do. And it went and it just started growing.
Yeah. Well, let's back up a little bit.
Okay.
You just kind of gave us a backstory of your son saying, "Hey, you got to get on TikTok. You got to go live."
Yeah.
Where did the initial thought of you could even be Santa Claus come from?
We'll go back to my son. My son got a new Canon camera,
Mm-hmm.
and he wanted to be a amateur photographer. So he said, "Dad, why don't we get together? We'll have the kids there, and we'll take pictures. I want to take pictures of you around the tree with the kids." And I said, "Okay, that sounds like fun." So I broke out the old Santa suit. At this time, I had a real beard, but it was a lot shorter.
Yeah.
And then he took some pictures, and then he turned the camera around and said, "Dad, I think you need to take this a little more serious."
Yeah.
And my wife saw that, put the picture and a little thing of, "Hey, would you like Santa to come to your house?" And yeah, we got some inquiries local in our neighborhood for me to show up.
Yeah.
And then they started talking, got word of mouth, and then it just locally it took off from there.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it was my son again.
Wow. Is that something that that was met with resistance a little bit, or were you pretty open?
I was nervous. I mean, yeah, I'm glad you brought that up because I think so many times we don't do something because it's out of our comfort zone.
Mm-hmm.
And really think about it. And we fight our comfort zone constantly.
Yeah.
And I will tell you, God will always, your calling will be out of your comfort zone.
Wow.
I promise you, it will be out of your comfort zone because then you can't take any accolades from it. You can't say I did this or I did this because if I'm comfortable in doing it, then it's all me.
Mm-hmm.
But if God takes you out and sends you out into the desert, and that's what it felt like going on social media for me.
Yeah.
I felt like I was going in the desert, like, I don't know where I'm going here.
Yeah.
Where's the water?
Yeah.
You know, but, if you just, I take it one day at a time and one step at a time, one challenge at a time, and always seeking to get out of my comfort zone.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry. If you ask me the time, I'm going to tell you how to build a watch. So that's I believe that's part of my calling is help people get out of that. At 71 years old, are you kidding me? Look at guys like you that are a lot younger. Man, the world is your oyster. Don't let all that noise out there say, oh, the economy and this is messed up, that's messed up. Lean into seeking God, and He'll show you your calling. I promise you. And if not, get a hold of Levante and I, and we'll help you get there.
That's right. That's right. Yeah. You just made a comment about, your calling will be, the calling that God has for you is going to be out of your comfort zone.
Right.
And I definitely feel like God will still prepare you.
Oh, yeah.
How do you feel like God prepared you for what it's become now?
Oh, that's a good question. I'm glad you asked that. That's perfect. No, that's perfect. I am a recovering alcoholic. Mm-hmm. I'm a recovering alcoholic. I had gotten my life to the point to where my family separated from me. Everything, it was just me. And all that trials, all the pain that I'd gone through in my past, self-inflicted or not, all my best thinking got me to the point to where I needed God in my life. If I was to change it or stop anything, unless I wanted it to be what day is that every day seemed to be the same day, but it was getting worse and worse and worse.
Yeah.
And until I stopped and said, God, my best thinking got me here. What do you want? And at that time, literally face on the floor, saying, God, what do you want? And it was serve me, worship me, and serve my people. And I said, okay. So I started going to church. I was actually going to church at that time, and then go help at the mission. Mm-hmm. And that started everything, coming up 14 years.
Wow.
This November 11th. 11/11 was when that 11/11/11 is when all this
really
happened. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Isn't that cool?
That's cool.
And I think even in that in itself means a lot to me, that it was 11/11/11.
So again, I would say most people don't know that about you, and people see you online and see the success, but they didn't understand that it quite came with losing everything to then gain everything.
Yeah, exactly.
So in your relationship with God, how do you see it manifesting in your work now and what you do as someone online that can spread cheer, spread joy, spread whatever God is calling you to spread?
Right.
How do you see it manifesting?
Well, I think the Santa images really help because I'm recognized by 95% of the world.
Yeah, right.
And, what it's been able to help me do, if I get your question correctly, is that because of my trials and everything, I've been able to relate to them. I've always wanted them to feel my community, my people, anybody I come in contact with, is I want you to be a part of what I am doing all the time, and putting, really paying attention to not just me and what I think is right, but actually serving them continually. What do they want? What are you looking for? And most all the time, just give me some attention.
Yeah.
Just give me some attention. That's all I want.
Right.
And that's what most of us desire, is to be seen.
Yeah.
I
think, your success, I mean, you'd probably attribute to, again, the favor of God, but talk about how quickly you came on the scene. So you made that video, and your son helped you make the video, then you went live. So, like, how fast did your channel on TikTok and Instagram, how fast did they grow?
Well, the first month, I think we did about 30 to 40,000 followers. And then from that month on, we averaged, and I say average, 125,000 a month, as high as 180. And usually about 125,000 a month is what it grew to. So within 9 months, we had 1 million.
Yeah.
And within a year, that's when I had to get some help. And that's where Michael come in and started helping me.
Yeah.
And then we went 9 more months and got another 1 million. And we're pushing right now. It's 2.4 million. We're pushing.
Wow.
Not quite there yet.
Yeah.
Oh, we could be there with Instagram and some of the others.
Yeah.
So
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And we've mainly just pushed on TikTok a lot because I'm a live creator. I go live, and that's how I've built my platform, where people have built theirs on InFeed, which is making videos all the time, making videos. So we're trying to, we are combining the two now, and then working on some other stuff too.
Was it at that 9-month mark that you started to take this serious, and this could be my career for the rest of my life?
Well, I started making some pretty serious money, and I went, wow, this is weird.
Yeah.
I've never made money doing something that I totally enjoy, completely, enjoyed like that. I've always had the job and that kind of thing, to where I went, man, this is really a blast. So I fully dove in and made a commitment out of it. So I would say within 6 months, my son is going, Dad, I don't know if I can help you anymore. If you're going to get any bigger, you're going to need some other help.
Yeah.
Someone more, with more skills than what he had. And my granddaughter helped too. Kimber helped a lot too, because she's, at the time she was 15, 16.
Yeah.
She knew all the viral stuff.
Right.
So if you look at my top viral videos, it's stuff that she made go for us,
That's great.
She goes, Grandpa, you got to do this. Okay.
I guess.
So, I guess if you're an older person, find some younger people in your life that get the social media thing better, that get the doing technical part a lot better than, don't let that stop you. That's what I want to say. Don't let that get in the way. Find some people that love helping you and that kind of thing. So
there's got to be some intimidation, right? Like getting into social media I think you said 69 was when you first started, or
68. Because I'm 71 now. So it was a little over 3 years ago. So yeah, I was 68.
Yeah. So that's got to be challenging, the whole technical world. And would you say that's why a lot of people your age don't get into social media?
I'm glad you said that. You're going to be, you're a great interviewer. I'm not kidding you. That is so key, because this is something I would like to say. That's what stops most everybody. It has nothing to do with age.
Wow.
You know what? The first thing is I don't like my voice. Nah, stop it. Your voice sounds different to everybody anyway.
Yeah.
And the other one is, what do I have to say? Who's going to listen to me?
Yeah.
Don't let that stop you. I mean, that's the biggest thing that people, that gets in their way. They don't think that that's the biggest thing.
Yeah.
People say, what am I going to give? Well, give your passion. Give what you're passionate about. I could go into all that.
Yeah, it's always interesting. I think you're 100% right. There's so many people that I think, well, especially whether age or not, they have a lot of knowledge and they have a lot of great things to share. And everyone is really good at something.
Right.
Right. And whatever, it could be knitting baskets, it could be business, it could be a
Exactly.
lot of different things. And there's always a community for you out there. And
Totally.
so I always think, social media to me, it's always been to connect people. Like a lot of people have turned it into, business and you do this and do that, and you gotta go viral. It's like, not really. Like, that's something that if you just want to connect with people around what you love and what you like to do, just post the video. Like everyone else doesn't really matter, right? It doesn't really matter.
Yeah, and don't let Bobby Small Pants that comes on there that's sitting in the basement and you're stupid or bug you.
Yeah.
Don't let that person stop you, because I seen that happen. One of the first times I seen that happen is go, hey Joanne, I don't see you on anymore. Why? Oh, I just couldn't take people bantering me, the trolls. That's
The trolls, yeah.
Don't let the trolls stop you. They're not, you're going to let that. I have trolls coming in even as Santa.
Yeah.
And I have moderators to keep them out of there, But they're going to come in, they're going to do that. But that's just life. That's okay. Don't let them stop you from doing your purpose, your calling, what you're passionate about, because they're going to. But don't let that stop you. Oh my gosh.
I mean, outside of, again, the community aspect, I think that's number one. But two, social media has turned into a place where you can build a business.
Yes.
And now, again, beginning at 68, now 71, you've done that.
Yeah.
So how have you built a business around social media?
Well, first of all, you start getting income, and then you start getting brand deals, people talking to you. They want you to represent their particular products, things like that. So that has helped. Social media pays you for different views that you get. I think everybody's familiar with that.
Yeah.
That's kind of what's happening now. And then it's even leading us into now where we're getting looked at for commercials. I have a commercial agent. I have a acting coach now. I have, stuff that's going to even grow into some bigger stuff, movies maybe, and stuff like that.
Wow.
So, but that's where things are changing in Hollywood. It's not like it used to be. So they're looking at creators more.
Yeah.
Products are looking at being able to sponsor guys like your podcast, and what you're doing.
Is there a way you want to go in your business? So, like, obviously there's new things, there's new opportunities. Is there something that you're trying to accomplish within what you want to do?
Well, yeah. And I leave it up to, okay, God, where do you want me? And I'm being led right now to be more, not as Santa-ish, and more like, this is where I came from. And I'm wanting to help people get to what they want to accomplish. And if that means getting bigger on social media, yes. It's popular. It's not about popularity for me. It's about, there's people I need to serve out there for me. But you're not going to, you can accomplish anything with an audience.
Yeah.
But you can't go anywhere without an audience.
Yeah.
So you have to have some kind of audience. I don't care what business you're in, what you're doing. You need people to look at your product. You need people to look at what you're doing. So attention is where it's at nowadays. And if you do it right and know who got you there and whose you are, it's important,
Amen.
And I don't get real preachy on my social medias, but when the time comes, I know when, I know I am to say something, that God is there to help you walk through, bring you out of, where you're at, and God is there to help you. I mean, I think we're in some interesting times.
You talk a lot about God. I can tell God is a huge part of your life and obviously your business now. What would you tell people that are on the fence about God? And maybe they do see him in their life, but they're not too sure, or they've lost hope, right? Because I think you could relate to that again, being where you came from, being a recovering alcoholic, lost it all.
Yeah.
What could you say that would give people hope in God and maybe even following God?
Not everybody hears him. But if you're hearing him, it's that little quiet whisper is to quit and turn from yourself and turn to him, turn to face him, because your best thinking got you where you're at. Right at this position, your best thinking. And if you hear that voice, if you hear that quiet voice, listen to him and he will guide you. I promise you, he will guide you and bring the right people into your life. And pay attention to that voice, because you're being called. You're being called right now. Right now. Because I know somebody hears that out there.
That's beautiful. I remember my whole life I wasn't a believer, and a lot of my family didn't necessarily grow up in the church. I didn't have a belief, but I remember the first few moments I started to hear God, and kind of what you were saying. You didn't really know what it was, where it was coming from, but you just felt this strong inclination to do something or reach out.
Maybe I should go to church. Maybe I'll check out, or, I just saw that thing go by when I was doom scrolling that stop, I want to pray for you, and you stopped. Or that, hey, this may be for you when you're scrolling through and you stopped. That could be very well. I know that's part of the calling,
Yeah, I definitely remember that feeling. And then I think God will always provide. And then
totally.
I started to notice, different people around me that could help me in my faith.
Yeah.
And then there came the opportunity, and then it became, seeking first the kingdom.
Right.
And then everything, all things were added unto me. Right. It's like, that's such a true thing. And I always encourage people like that are not Christians to jump in the Bible too, because, the Bible was for humanity. It wasn't for Christianity.
Right.
Right. And I think there's this this unpopular opinion about you have to be Christian to dive into the book or to have a relationship with people that are against your spiritual beliefs. But I really think that getting into the Bible and allowing God to work in your life is the biggest thing. That book was for humanity, not Christianity.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
So you're talking about your opportunities, and maybe it's commercials, maybe it's TV shows, maybe it's movies, and sometimes that side of life can be viewed as not very good.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So how are you going to navigate all the decisions you make? And
this guy's nailing it. This guy's nailing it.
Yeah.
I got chills.
Oh, wow.
Oh, look.
Yeah.
I got chills.
Yeah.
God's already prepared me for that by being on social media.
Mm-hmm.
God's already prepared me for that.
Yeah.
He's already sent the enemy's already sent a ton of those kind of things towards me. Oh, yeah. No, he's already prepared. Now, it's always it's always out of your comfort zone, But no, God's totally done that. I'm so prepared to be in that world. I mean, Michael and I have been in all kinds of situations, going to LA, going to Las Vegas, going to, pool parties that we have been to that I went, oh, Lord. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Put some clothes on.
Yeah. Right. Right.
I mean, I'm not saying I've been through it all, but I've been through it. God is already prepared, and he will prepare you too. And the enemy comes at you. He comes at me with them old habits I used to think.
Yeah. Right.
Them old habits.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I definitely get it. Yeah.
So he knows the enemy's good. That sounded weird. The enemy's not good. Good at what he does.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah. So, but God's preparing me every day for that. As long as I stay in the Word, as long as I'm seeking His face in the morning and keeping my day and things going right, I'm bulletproof because greater is He that is in me than he that is of the world.
Yeah.
Man. So yeah, it's me and Jesus. Let's go.
Yeah. You speak a lot of Michael and other people that are in your circle that you trust. How big is trust as you kind of maneuver through this?
No, it's hard to trust anybody out there. I mean, it first started with me is who do I have help moderate on my lives?
Yeah.
And who can I trust that's going to do the right thing and be there? And one of them is Carmen. So if you're going to hear me talk about Elf Carmen on my lives all through every live, she has never missed a live in 3.5 years.
Wow.
And I go live almost every day. And she's always been there. And that was the first time. And how I was blessed with Elf Carmen in my life is I said, she come across saying, hey, can you pray for my dad? And that was one of the first times I prayed in front of 4,000 people that was viewing my live at that point. And I went, oh, man. And I let the comment go by, but it haunted me. That voice would say, get back there. You go back there. That's out of my comfort zone. That's out of my comfort zone. I don't know how to pray in front of 5,000, 4,000 people. Literally, and I'm not exaggerating. There's 3,000 to 5,000 people in my live at that time listening to what I had to say. And you want me to pray for somebody? I don't know how to pray. And I prayed for her, but part of the prayer was, God, and I've never said this, God, if you're calling him home, Lord, let it be peaceful and quiet and pain-free, comfort the family. And he passed away in a couple of weeks.
Wow.
And Carmen said that I needed to hear that. I needed to be there. And she has been a faithful friend of mine. And in my lives, I depend on her helping with that part of my social media and other things. And then there's all kinds of things that come at you from, hey, I'm going to do this for you. I'm going to do that for you. I want you on our team. You're wonderful. And, something I always say, be aware everybody has a motive. Everybody has a motive. Be aware. And so it's been that process. Now, being older and being Christian and being all that, you're a little more naive to what's been coming up. So that's where Elf Michael has come in for me to go, wait, Santa, let's take a closer look. Or no, I don't think, what do you think? And we talk about it, and I get a perspective of, oh, you're right. We've had people wanting to do deals with us because anyway, I mean, we have a large platform.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if we mentioned it, but 2.some million. I mean, you get a lot of attention like that from a lot of people.
Right.
And not everybody's motives are equal to what your motives are. So you have to, just one thing God has prepared us for. So Michael and I and Elf Carmen, and now I have a producer, and then I have other people too. So yeah.
Do you guys feel like you have a good system to weed those things out and determine them early so that people don't kind of get into your circle?
Right. Yes and no, because you never know what the next opportunity is for you to be able to serve God in a way that's godly. So you may make some mistakes, but the mistakes is where you're going to learn. If you're not making mistakes, you're not bringing those people in. You won't be prepared down the road. So it's always a moving process. But we got a pretty good system. We talk it over. We make a decision. We roll with it.
Yeah.
And we've gone, dang, we shouldn't have gone down that road. We shouldn't have took that trail.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, now we know why we took that trail that time.
Right.
too.
Right.
Does that make any sense?
That makes a lot of sense.
Okay.
Makes a lot of sense. Yeah. Well, speaking of people that you trust, let's talk about your wife. And your wife, I'm sure, did not think in any world that all of a sudden at 68 to 71, you've had this massive uptick in social media and all this kind of stuff. How do you stay connected with her at home, and how do you educate her on what's going on as well so that she can be part of the ride?
Let's back up a little bit. Okay, let's back up a little bit. My wife has always believed and something super special about me. So my wife is one of those that says you can do anything, and I'm right here to help you get there.
Well,
Totally. And I said, I'd come to her and go, honey, we had 14,000 people follow us today. She goes, well, that doesn't surprise me.
wow.
Huh? I look at her and go, what? Are you kidding me?
Wow.
No, that doesn't surprise me.
Yeah.
Or, hey, so-and-so actor wants us to do some work with them. Of course. She's always like never surprised on our wins in life. It's like she expects it. She knows it's going to happen. She even knows we're going to get bigger and better. And I can't surprise her because she just believes in me so much. And she's the one that is always stops everything, no matter what, and says, let's go. I got you. There's times I need clothes sewn. I need stuff done. We need to pack up and head to somewhere like now. And she's always totally believed in me. And having a spouse like that makes me bulletproof. I can go out there and be a man and do what a man's supposed to do. Protect and provide.
Yeah.
I can do that.
Yeah.
And I feel 100% that way.
I love that, and that's cool. That I always like that what you said, like having a great wife is a superpower, and especially with the line of work that we're in, with it's kind of unpredictable. You never know what's going to happen the next day.
Yeah,
and sometimes you're going to have to travel. Sometimes you're going to have to be on meetings. Sometimes you're going to have to do X, Y, and Z. And to always have that rock at home, I feel like it's almost like step one. Like if you're going to do this, if you're going to be a content creator, if you're going to be a business owner, if you're going to be an entrepreneur, like that's step one. If you're going to get married,
totally.
that's like the most important thing.
Right. If your marriage ain't right, get it right, because you're not going to succeed until it is.
Wow.
It won't.
Yeah, 100%.
You can't. You have to have your marriage right. So sit down. If there's anything that you two need to get through and get past, get it done now. Get it done now, because the stuff can start coming and it can destroy you.
Yeah.
Because she may not be thinking the same thing that you're thinking, or you're not thinking what she's thinking. So it's still some work. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I tend to go all in when I do stuff. But we've grown together knowing that when I get onto something, that's what we do.
Yeah. Well, how do you guys stay connected in your home, right? Again, with this new fame and business creation. And again, it's probably still pretty new for her.
Right.
Yeah. What are the frameworks that you guys use to make sure that you stay solid at home?
Okay. Well, I went really hard and didn't do the best job on my job. She did, but I didn't, because I just went really hard. But it wasn't. But a few months ago, I said, I got to stop. I got to chill. I come up and look out and, looked around and went, I haven't taken her to dinner like I should.
Yeah.
I haven't done a few things like I should. And so I'm working on that part of my life even more to this day.
Wow.
Be better at that to give her. But she gave me for 3.5 years once I hit social media. But she put it in the bank.
Yeah.
Or I did, I guess. It's sitting here in the bank. It's time for you to cash in now.
Yeah.
So it's, planning some trips and, things like that together.
Yeah. That's amazing. So what are your plans for the future as far as building your business?
That's another good question. It seems to evolve all the time. I think I'd like to do some commercials, more commercials, bigger commercials. Not I think, that's the direction it looks like it's going. We're involved with a movie process to be in a movie. And my biggest goal is to make a presence in this world that is become way more worldly than when I was 10 years old. So to be able to shine God's light Christ's life through me brighter and brighter, even on social media, because I was told, why are you on TikTok? You're a Christian.
Oh, yeah.
You know, why are you, that's a horrible place to be. And it leads back to the question you had before, is that's the best place for a Christian to be.
Yeah.
If I can make a difference and I'm not showing stuff I shouldn't, if I'm not, if I'm presenting myself in a good way, a wholesome, clean way, then I'm doing my job as far as being in the world, but not of the world,
Right.
and making a presence in the world the best I know how to do with how he's changed my life and turned my life around. If I can make that kind of presence, that's my real goal. What you can do in Christ.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow.
And that's including making a good living for your family.
Right.
Right. And not be afraid of that. I mean, I grew up with Christians saying you have to a poverty mindset. Well, that's not biblical. We're a child of the King.
Yeah.
You think we should be eating like kings?
Right.
We should be traveling like kings.
Yeah.
We should be living in houses like kings.
Mm-hmm.
We're made in the image of God. In the image of God.
Mm-hmm.
Why not?
Yeah.
That doesn't make sense to me. We should be there.
Yeah. It's funny, serving people is kind of one of the main things that we talk about as Christians and things that we're called to do. And I remember there was a lady who we have social media. We're posting about cleaning, and sometimes we do like just provide a service for free, but a lot of times we don't. It's run a business, right?
Right.
And there was one time where I had the captions like "We wash to serve," right? That's kind of our slogan,
right?
And this lady chimed in on social media. It was just like, well, it looks like that person can afford your services. I don't know why you're serving them versus, it's like,
right.
It was interesting to where, again, maybe she was a Christian lady, maybe she wasn't, but there is this mentality that as Christians, like maybe serving or what we should do, that almost like discontinues us from being able to build these businesses,
right?
Make a lot of money,
right?
Or be able to serve who we want, whether they have a lot of money or don't have a lot of money,
right? Exactly.
And, yeah, there is a mentality behind that. And I always find that very interesting because, again, to really make any change, we know this in the world, like you have to have money, right? So why not build something of value? And once you do that, people are going to monetize you for it.
Right.
Whatever you're creating and the world doesn't have or needs more of, they're going to provide, resources for that.
Exactly.
So then I think it's in our heart to then utilize those resources for something good.
Right.
That's kind of the difference. But yeah, I think there needs to be this break in mentality of, okay, well, as Christians, you can't make millions of dollars.
Right, right.
You can't build a business that makes millions. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Before I started social media, I was on Social Security. My wife is a parapro at the school, and she works a part-time doing that. We weren't making that much money, but we were tithing and, giving where we could. But the difference now of giving...
A little bit different, right?
Yeah, a little bit different.
Tiny bit different.
Yeah, a lot. Totally different.
Mm-hmm.
And now I get that even more. I'm able to help people, bless people.
Yeah.
We even have our own foundation now, North Pole Foundation, our own nonprofit that we're coming into. That's the other part that I'm wanting to work on and get better. Where we did some things locally with Stein's Hardware here locally, Stein's Ace Hardware, to where we were able to provide a lot of toys for some kids, and so yeah, I think that's what we're called to do, is to make a difference, and it takes some money to do that sometimes.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
Not sometimes, most of the time.
Most of the time. Yeah.
Right.
So
good point.
Ending thoughts here. If someone wants to be a content creator, get on social media, maybe they want to make a business out of it. Maybe it's just let's focus on business. So maybe they want to make a business out of it. Again, maybe they have a family at home, and they have faith. So how would you recommend them getting into the content creation world and how to succeed at it?
Okay. let's say, okay, you got the Joe job. You're going to work. You're working for somebody, but you have this thing that you like to do when you're not working. It could be fishing. It could be pottery making. It could be anything that you could think of, and start posting. Or it could be that you like to read verses in the Bible. I don't care. But that's where you start is start with something that you're totally passionate about, something that you enjoy doing. And with that, if you do go on social media, you're going to start finding your tribe. You're going to start finding those people that are attracted to how you present yourself and what you do. Just don't not do it if you're feeling called to do it. And social media is where you're going to be able to find all the people out there, if you're wanting to get into something different.
Yeah. I think that's part of it is the education side, right? Because most people aren't going to find the success that you did early on. I mean, most people are going to start a channel and it's going to be to a million in 9 months. People need to understand that, but there are obviously some frameworks and some things that you went into mentally or, however you did that created some success. And so I just want to leave people with some thoughts. And again, you met it with resistance initially, and you didn't want to be in front of the camera. You didn't,
totally.
And like you said, there's going to be a lot of people that are in that same mindset. So, just curious about the different frameworks that you use to, get past that. And then, how you were able to, is consistency a big thing? Have you seen consistency? It's probably another one of those things that's a big thing.
I'm glad you said that too, is because I've never been real consistent at anything until I dove into what I was passionate about.
Interesting. Yeah.
And then I became the most consistent person.
Funny how that works.
People tell you got to stop for a little bit.
Yeah.
But I'm passionate. I love this. Isn't what I do is it's not a job to me.
Yeah.
But it pays real well.
Yeah.
But it's not a job. I love what I do. When you're in your passion, find out really seek out what you're passionate about. You already know what you're passionate about. Because you spend time thinking about it when you're not doing your work.
Right.
You're thinking about your fishing trip. You're thinking about your camping trip.
Right.
You're thinking about building your Jeep, putting new wheels on it or, that's all content.
Yeah.
That's all content. Or your RC cars, or your cooking.
Yeah.
Don't because there's a lot of cooking channels out there. You're not out there. Your people are looking for you.
Right.
You could be that chef, that barbecue guy, still out there. Especially nowadays, people are coming more on scene. They're coming to come look for you on social media now.
Right. And it doesn't need to be perfect right away, right? Like I'm sure you've had a process of making better content throughout your time on content creation, correct?
Yeah, too. We started with iPhone 12, 13, something like that. Yeah. iPhone 12. That's how we started.
Yeah. So just get out there, start the video.
I got a backdrop, put it down. Yeah. We rock and roll just like this.
That's right. That's what it takes.
That's what it takes. Who knows? We might have a plant here next time.
That's the goal. Yeah, maybe if it was $170, we would have a plant here. We'll get there. Awesome. Well, again, I love your perspective. I love, the conversation that we have here is very valuable, I feel like. And I really hope people dig into it because, there is this collaboration of faith and family and business. And you really hit all of those three. Cool. And you can build something very successful in all three areas. And it seems like you've done that. Yeah. So I really hope this is encouragement to people. Thank you for being an encouragement to people. Thank you for paving the way for that because I'm even listening to this and figuring out how I can do things better and how I can, better create the business. But you've had much more experience than me. And, the way you talk about your wife and the way you talk about the Lord, it's very inspiring to me. And I want to make sure that, people out there and people right here understand and really just take away the value that you provided today. So
cool.
Awesome. Where can they find you on social media?
You can find me on TikTok, Santa Corky, that's where I'm usually go live. Santa Corky on Instagram. That's Santa Corky on YouTube and a little bit on Facebook. And then come and look me up at school. Also, that's our new thing.
The school.
Watch out! Here we come! Here we come!
Yeah, we'll have to have you back and we can talk a little bit more.
I would love that.
That'd be great.
I would love that.
Again, thank you. You guys go follow Santa Corky and go see all the cool things he's doing and go support him. Thank you guys for coming. We'll see you next time.
Thank you.